Thank you,
Oh, wait.
thank you.
Well, wait. Absolutely, you are correct. Hello, world. What is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte. We are here live at the Build Studio in New York City. For years, our next guest has broken boundaries not only for drag performers in the music world, but also for LGBTQ plus artists in the genres of country, folk, and Americana. She has harnessed her songwriting chops and her quick-witted, hardworking spirit to become a captivating and inspiring figure in pop culture and music. Her third album, Barbara, ushers in the next era of her sonic journey and further elevates what it means to be, honestly, not just a drag queen today, but an artist. She's never sounded better. She's never looked better. Put your hands together for the truly great, the one, the only, folks, it's Trixie Mattel. Come on.
Thank you. Thank you. Woo!
Trixie, welcome back. No stranger to Build. Always a treat to have you here.
The last time I was here, I had a limo driver named Ping, and Ping, girl Ping she parked the car and she was curious of what's going on. You can roll the tapes on the exchange rate. My driver was standing back here in the windows looking through like this. And I saw the camera people going like, move him, and I was like, oh, hey, Ping. But he was an angel. He wasn't available to drive me today. But if you're watching, Ping, Illy.
Shout out to Ping, absolutely. Trixie, so great to have you back. I love this record. You've got a trillion things going on. We're going to talk about as much of it as we can. How are you doing? How is Trixie right now?
Girl, let me tell you what. Last night we did a sold-out show in Boston at the Royale, which is normally in the fall. Katya and I sell it out for Halloween, but apparently I don't need her anymore. And nor do I need the holiday of Halloween.
You don't need Halloween anymore.
Canceled. Halloween's canceled, sis. Pop off. But it was really fun. We sold out last night, and then I put it was so hot, my wet shapewear in a suitcase, put on the bus. I woke up at 6:30 a.m. on the bus outside the Bronx in stop-and-go traffic, and I sat on the tour bus and put on this makeup at 6:30 in the morning. And then I put on wet tucking panties to come to this because they were sweaty from yesterday. So let's just say that the more things change, the more they stayed the same.
Well, we truly appreciate that journey that you've gone on because it's brought you here with us today.
Sure.
And it's awesome to have you here. Talk to me about this amazing record. Obviously, side A, the first four, a slightly different sound than people would expect from Trixie, but you kind of tested the waters with Yellow Cloud, right? You put that out there.
Yes, it was like a little bit of a dare to myself. Like I really want to move to more of like a power pop sound, but country is already a hard sell, even if you're not a crossdresser. So like, I knew I could sell folk because honestly, writing jokes and writing folk songs are kind of similar. It's about talking about a situation that's right in front of your face, but talking about it with words that make it feel new and like, oh, I get it. You know, so writing songs are so similar. So because I wrote all these songs except two, you can still really hear Trixie in it. So no matter whether or not you plug in the instruments, Trixie Mattel still wrote it. So I think that's why no matter what, the leap ended up being successful because it was like, Trixie obviously wrote this.
Were you paying it when Yellow Cloud went out there and you were like, were you paying attention to the fan response to see how people felt about that sound? Yeah.
Absolutely. I know that a lot of famous people are like, I never read the comments. It's all I do.
Really?
Of course. Expose me. End and expose me, Mom. I was on the way here from Paste. I just did a 4-song set at Paste today, and I was in the car on the way here watching the performance because I like to be self-critical. I like to know what landed and what didn't. And for this, because of Yellow Cloud, I knew Barbara was coming, and I was like, well, let's see what the vibe is. And to be honest, that plugged in like super retro 60s feel, it really pairs well with comedy. And Trixie's always kind of looked like this vibe. So I think it's a natural transition.
Is there a world where if there was a negative response to Yellow Cloud that you might have been swayed to go a different direction? Or no, you had a vision for this record and it was going to happen?
Yeah, I had a vision for it. And the only reason it's not on here is because I became obsessed with the idea of an 8-track, and that would have been the 9th track. So, and my fans are 15 to 24-year-old girls, mostly, and I know that they have very little pocket money, and I didn't want to charge them twice for a song they already had.
Well, it's been brilliant.
She said, thank you.
It's been a while since I've seen such a solid justification for like side A, side B.
Oh, yeah.
They're two parts of a whole, very much, and they feel as one whole thing, but they also could equally be their own thing. You know,
Yeah.
was that always, I'm going to make this record that is divided right down the middle, was it always a 50-50 split between this new sound and the folksy thing they kind of know me for?
Well, I was writing songs like Malibu at the same time that I was writing songs like Gold, and they don't sound like they're from the same universe. So to me, it was like, how do I, drag queens were very visual, and we want to match what we hear with what we see, and we want to tell the story. And I was like, okay, it's this daytime beachy sound. I was very obsessed with, like the 60s and this like super tan look, and I was also writing folk songs, so I was like, okay, side A is going to be day at the beach, side B is going to be like campfire at the beach. Living in LA for 4 years, perpetual summer. Plus, I spend the summers in Provincetown, which is a beach town. That all kind of got thrown into it. And then I watched a lot of the Brady Bunch, a lot of Hullabaloo, a lot of Nancy Sinatra, a lot of Dusty Springfield, and it all just got thrown in the blender and came out as Barbara.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they immediately identify and latch on to like that Gidget beach party 60s like vibe that's there. But sonically, there are clear like early 2000s like Fountains of Wayne.
I
like
love Fountains of Wayne.
Oh my God, amazing. I think underrated.
Oh my God.
Underrated.
I met Adam Schlesinger from Fountains of Wayne. You guys, if you don't know, Adam Schlesinger wrote like Stacy's Mom, which, by the way, is the name of our new lipstick at Trixie Cosmetics. Yes, it is.
What a wonderful little call.
We made like a more grown-up version of Stacy, and I was like, we have to call it Stacy's Mom. I do name all the products, which explains a lot.
But, all right, so you had that bubbling inside of you. That's an influence that you've had for a while. Why do you think your journey sonically started in a more folksy side if you've always had this within you?
Well, I grew up, I was born, I'm 30, so I grew up learning to play guitar to like Avril Lavigne, Fountains of Wayne, Blink-182, like Weezer. So that's the sounds I learned on. Right. And country music was the sounds I grew up sitting on my grandpa's lap listening to. So it does chronologically make sense. Yeah. I love power pop, and I love bands like the Go-Go's, and I love the Donnas. I love girl bands. I love like rock music with really clean, beautiful pop lines that make the hair on your neck stand up,
Beautiful. Well said.
I just started listening to Hole.
Oh, really? You just started this?
Just recently. If you guys don't know, this band is lit. But apparently every gay person already knows about it except me.
The word on Hole has been out for a little while.
It's fierce, though. I do this every few years where I find someone that I think I discovered. In like 2008, I was like, I'm really into this new artist, James Taylor.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of them. I was reading somewhere that you have talked about this as sort of like the ultimate version of Trixie. Like you even went back and revisited like early sketches and looked at those. Talk to me about that process of kind of like looking at those early days and sort of recontextualizing it with all of this new life experience and seeing like where it started. What was that like?
I'm so happy you asked.
Thank you.
So like the first ideas I had with Trixie was here, right? And then as over the years working in nightclubs, you do a certain type of drag that appeases your bachelorette audience, your nightclub goer audience. And then you do Drag Race, and then you niche down into what you feel like. And then with Barbara, it was like, honestly, it's not that I aim low, it's that like I have already like achieved my wildest dreams with Trixie. Everything I thought could ever happen happened with Two Birds and One Stone and winning Drag Race and the Trixie and Katya show and Viceland. And so this was like, all right, what was my original idea for Trixie and how do I revisit it? And originally I thought of Trixie as this like 60s beach bunny who's like a total Valley Girl ditz with this like really dark sense of humor. And with Barbara, I mean, especially with the cover art, you can see I really went back to that. And it's just crazy that with my influences, I kind of went full circle with it, It's just fun. It was fun to just like go back to the drawing board, but not really. Yeah.
How is that? Is that literally just like a box of old sketches? What is it? I want to know what it looks like. Take me to the room.
Old pictures of Trixie. I remember I went to my Instagram. I went to the beginning, which please don't do. And I looked at looks that I used to wear, and I looked at looks that I remember nights where I was like working at Hamburger Mary's Milwaukee, and I remember nights where I looked in the mirror and I was like, tonight I really like got it. This is like the Trixie I envision. Yeah. And it was always like really bubbly sun, like bleach blonde hair and sunny looks, like swimsuits and sunglasses. And I kind of like, I wanted to dive back into that. And it was just around the time I was getting back into this type of music. So it just paired together so well. It's just like a natural transition for me.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because I think it's an incredible story, is the cover you do of Lavender Country song.
Sure.
And I was unaware of that. I feel like a lot of people are going to discover this amazing band through the talks that you're giving and through this cover. But just talk about what it was like to have was it Patrick, right? Sitting there.
Patrick Haggerty.
Yeah,
you guys
sitting there
don't
with
know.
you in the studio.
Oh, bitch.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Patrick Haggerty was like, because a lot of people, I was their first, like a lot of young gay people, I'm their first like folk record. So they were like, you got me into folk music. And then somebody one day was like, do you know about this Lavender Country? Basically, in 1970, this country band, this guy Patrick Haggerty, he wrote all these songs about being a gay person from the country. He put it out. He put it in the back of Gay Rags, and you could send $5 or whatever, and they would send you the record. They pressed 1,000. They all sold, but he got blacklisted from every music gig and every day job for like 9 years. So that was 50 years ago. So the year that came out is this year, 50 years, like almost to the month. So a fan introduced me to that album, and I heard I Can't Shake the Stranger Out of You, and I love writing my own music. Honestly, I think most people listen to my music because the songwriting really is the feature. You know, I'm an okay singer and guitar player, but I think the songwriting is really the part of it people come for. But when I heard that song, I was like, I have to cover this song. And Patrick came in the studio, and he was like, I was the first batch of gay people to come out, and we didn't know how to be intimate. We only knew how to have sex. And he said gay people at the time had a hard time connecting. I was like, Mary, let me tell you, gays haven't changed. Which is why, it's kind of sad, but 50 years later, that song is very relevant.
It was just so fascinating to read about. I went down like a Lavender Country like rabbit hole of just like all this fascinating stuff. Patrick literally comes from a time where he said he had friends that were murdered for being gay, and it's just like it was a different planet, and it was incredible. The stories that he had.
I was like, I'm doing like a chicken shit pride maybe, and like, I had to ride in a compact car. Can you believe it? He's like, really? I have friends who were murdered by the police. I was like, okay. Just like he really did check my privilege as a gay person in 2020 to be like, wow, people like him literally, we say paved the way like we're writing a greeting card, but we're talking like brick by fucking brick. People like that made it possible for us to do anything, to sit here now.
And what was it like collaborating musically, having him there in the studio to guide you as you're singing a song that he wrote 50 years ago?
Well, he was so chill. He was like...
Was he really?
Yeah, I don't want to like impersonate him, but he's kind of like an old hippie, he's like, do whatever you want with it. And also, in gay world, I don't have any gay friends as old as he is. And at first, I was like, kind of have like I feel like a kid and he's an adult. So I was just like, ha ha ha, like trying to talk to him. And then he was like, we were talking about like I was like, I bet you got laid a lot back in the day. You were really cute. And he was like, honey, I was the queen slut of the bathhouse. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, Grandpa, no. But I'm 30 now, and part of my show Grown Up, which is touring now, is like, part of it is realizing like this just sounds stupid, but older people are you born before you. Right. It's not another species. In moments like that, we're talking to Patrick, we got closer, and he's so like blunt, you guys. They're not going to show this on camera, but he was like, he got really close, this close, and he was like, and he has a hearing aid that you can hear from across the room, right? But he wrote these incredible songs. Obviously, his musicianship is ridiculous, right? And he got really close to me. He goes, I didn't think I was going to like you. And I was like, I'm glad you did. But having him in the studio with me, he was standing in the booth with me, and we're like holding hands, singing. It was just like, I'm going to be honest. I'm a monster from hell. I went into that thinking like, we need some like pics for the Insta. Come on in here. You know what I mean? But it was truly transformative, and it was a part of the record I will never forget. I'm a different person because of that experience.
No, it's an amazing thing, and you're right. It sounds silly to say that older people are just us, but born early. But like,
it's silly to say, but it's true.
It's so true. Years ago, I worked at Apple, and I used to do the lessons we do one-on-one. I can't tell you how many octogenarians I taught how to like delete their internet history. Like there is like they're the same people.
They don't need
80-year-olds.
Oh,
sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I get it.
They made us say that instead of old people when I worked there. Was why.
Are you an octogenarian?
Yeah, I'm not yet, but I hope to be one day.
Yeah, totally.
Should be fucking lucky, right?
Definitely. One of my favorite designers, she designed for Barbie for like decades, Carol Spencer. There was a Vogue article called like, Meet the Chic octogenarian who designed for Barbie, and that's how I learned the word.
It's a beautiful word.
Life
it's fun to
finds
say.
a way.
It's got a nice rhythm to it, a musicality to it. Octogenarian.
Totally.
Yeah, you get hit in different ways. You mentioned your tour, which I want to bring up.
Yes, I'm touring
Biggest it's ever been.
Webster Hall tomorrow here in New York. You coming?
They'll be there.
I think it's sold out, isn't it? It is. Okay, sorry to everybody else. But there's a lot of amazing, this year I wanted to put together a show because Barbara came out, but I went through the reviews of Moving Parts and Ages 3 and Up and Skinny Legend.
Again, you went through reviews of the comments and stuff.
But honestly, people pay to put people in a room and make them watch things and hear what they say. The comment section is, to me, my spirit can handle it. I went through and I read about it and it was amazing. And the show has everything and it has a million costume changes, such as something like this. You never know what's gonna happen. And now you.
I feel very underprepared at this point. I should have known.
Let's just say I took all the comments and I was like, you know what? We're popping off. We're doing all the wigs. We're doing all the costumes. This is the best Trixie show I've ever done. And whoever's seen me before, this is whatever's beyond that. It's psycho. Please come.
I've heard, yes, hold for applause. Absolutely. I heard that in preparation, in addition to bringing a full band, all these costumes, you would also duck into open mics and just go try out material all over the place, which I understand could be a very humbling experience.
Oh, bitch. Because let's say you're a straight guy who does comedy. You put on your hoodie. You take the... Sorry. You walk down to the club.
A little on the nose, Trixie, but I'll take it. Keep going.
You do 15 minutes and you go home. But I, in LA, got in full drag probably 15 times. Full drag. I even performed one night in the basement of a pizza restaurant for 8 people. No. I did 20 minutes of Grown Up for people who did not know who I was and they were not interested in laughing to make me feel good. But if you want to know if your jokes are funny, go perform for people who have no idea who you are and do not care. Because that's how you find out quick.
How long did that 20 minutes
And there was no reveals to save me.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Was that the longest 20-minute set of your life?
No, that was fine. You get down there. I was in the. You get a case of the fuckheads. I'm like, what are they gonna do? And these local comedians don't perform because it makes them rich. I'm like, what are they gonna do? Get mad and not give me $20? Fight me. Exactly. It was fun. It was really fun. And very educational.
What was the biggest thing you learned?
Try not to go first or last.
Wait, at your own show?
Both in bed or at comedy shows,
In general. That's
in
just
general.
a solid piece of advice.
Yeah, and honestly, you can't really get a read. What I'm going to do, I feel like. Yeah. A lot of the comedians I work with, you can't really get a read on what people are going to do out there. Right. Some comedians are so, nebbish backstage, and then they're a psychopath on stage. Or vice versa. Yeah. So... it's fun, though.
Can we be honest, is this the first tour with a big band like this, a full band that you're doing?
Yeah, this is the first one.
That's got to be super fun.
But this is the first time that album release was right when a tour was.
All lined up.
Yeah, and so many people have seen me 5 years in a row. I really was like, how can I make a show that is just better than everything I've done? More costumes, more hair, a full band, more it's just the most. This is one of the best drag shows on earth. I say it confidently. You're going to die. The other night, I told someone, the show's so funny, you're going to die. And the guy goes, I hope so. I was like, okay. And then in Milwaukee, I was like, don't you love Milwaukee? And this guy goes, I moved here and my mom died.
I'm not hearing a no.
Like, okay. Enjoy the show.
Milwaukee is famous for that. That's why that's a well-known
That's the great
fact,
thing about comedy, though. No amount of preparation truly prepares you. Yes, because I've gone to see professional comedians who walk out with nothing and kill. You can write all the jokes and then go out there and bomb. So really, it's just you got to get on that wave. It's like that jump rope swinging. Try not to let it hit you in the eye. All
right, I want to make sure we have time. We've got a ton of questions, and I'm going to make sure we get to every last one of them. But I do have to ask because you have a book coming out with copy.
I sure do. Where do I find the time?
Yeah. When do you sleep?
Not lately. I almost slept in drag last night again. Yes. And I'm finally, now that I'm 30, my facial hair is growing in just thick enough that I can't really get away with it anymore. But I've done it. Oh, I've done it.
Yeah.
It's dark. Well, sometimes you go to bed in drag like this, and you go to bed sober, and you sleep like a vampire, and you wake up, and your makeup's fine. I've gone to bed the other way, blackout drunk, being like, I'm not getting up early. I'll sleep in drag. And I just sleep like a monster and wake up with just makeup everywhere. And it's rough. It's really dark. But But yeah, the
Tell
book
me
comes
about the
out.
book.
Yeah, it's called Trixie and Katya's Guide to Modern Womanhood, and we're basically giving you guidance on life from everything from hair and makeup to breakups, alcohol, and getting your period. The essentials. Yes. There's literally if you ever thought Katya was crazy, this book, you guys. I read her chapters. This bitch is a psychopath. This, for me, new depths of whoa. So, I mean, I contributed a lot too, but the Katya chapters, you guys are gonna fucking lose it. It's psycho.
Is that how you guys would work on it, separately, and then come together and read and give each other notes, or no?
We have sections together, and then now a section like drugs, I gave to her because experience. And then alcohol, she's never been a drinker, so I was like, I got this. But in true Trixie and Katya fashion, we've always sort of picked up where the other one leaves off,
Very exciting. When can we look for that? How much longer you?
Comes out in June, I believe.
June,
We're doing a
okay.
real book tour. It hasn't been announced yet, but I'm calling it my Sidney Prescott Out of Darkness tour. Do you remember in Scream when her publicist gets murdered? That's not a threat, my publicist. You'll be fine.
Just a title.
It's just a title.
All right, we got a book in June, and we've got the tour that's happening right now, and Barbara's out wherever music is.
Barbara's out. We're in season 5 of right now. Yes. Woo. And then Queens Who Like to Watch, our Netflix series, is in full swing. As soon as I get back from tour, we're filming a bunch more. And my cosmetics company, we have last year we launched 17 products. This year we have double that coming out. Get into it. Get into it.
I'm gonna ask one thing of you.
What is it?
Don't stop. Just
Believe
keep
it?
going. No, just don't stop. You got a trillion things. They're all amazing, and I don't know how you do it, but keep going. It is fantastic.
You know why? Because every drag queen, every time we push forward, we pull everyone with us. So drag queens don't really get so jealous of each other because if somebody does something good, it means we all are moving forward. So far be it from me to ever be no, I'm tired. Just do it. Get up and drag at 6:30 on the fucking tour bus in the Bronx and get in drag and do it.
You are hold for applause for that. That's where you applaud right there. I could talk to you for another hour and a half if they let me, but I want to make sure we get all these fan questions. So the first one we're going to do is coming to us from Twitter. It's from @TrixCat, and it says, "What does Trixie learn from touring with 3 straight guys?"
Oh my God! Well, they are here. Hi. It's a different thing. They listen to different music. One of them drinks whole milk.
It's like during the day.
Oh, end of the night, 2 glasses back to back.
Get the fuck out. Really?
I'm like, why do you drink whole milk? He goes, I feel like I could rip a flippin' tree out of the ground. And I was like, okay. So they're unique people, but they're fabulous musicians. And I will say this. I haven't spent a whole lot of lifetime with straight people. Yesterday, somebody in Boston on the street called me disgusting, and I had to fight them off them. So,
Really?
standingupforthegays.com. Yeah.
Great
straight
question.
people, they're just like us. Yeah. And it's 2020. Straight people have been in the dark long enough. This is their moment.
Feels like the year. We got a bunch in the room. Let's get to every last one of them. Stacy, you've got a microphone. Where are you, Stacy?
Over here.
Good. Go for it.
Hello.
Hi, I'm named after your lipstick.
You are? Mm-hmm. That is not chronologically possible. Are you 1 year old?
I'm actually 2 months old.
Work diva.
I wanted to know, what was your favorite song that you've recorded off of Barbara?
Oh, Jessie, hands down. I don't know. I know it's gold because it's I think gold is a new standard for my personal lyrics and songwriting. But a song about Jesse Eisenberg, it's just so fun. I look forward to singing it every night. It makes almost no sense. And he found out about it.
I was going to ask, what has Jesse said or responded in any way? Have you
You'll
heard
have to come see Grown Up. It's addressed in the show, but let's just say that he is as sweet as he is handsome. Sweeter. Yeah, okay. Because not everybody thinks he's handsome. But
I thought I knew what that meant at first, and I thought about it, and I didn't know. Thank you so much, Stacey. We've got another question. This one's from Chris. Chris, you have a microphone as well. Where are you?
Hi, over here. I'm gonna stand. Hi.
hello.
Hi. So given that you've been so successful, commercially and critically with your music, I wanted to know what makes you so different. What do you think makes you so different from other drag musicians who have tried to go into the music industry but haven't been as successful, either commercially or critically?
Well, I think it helps to be a musician. I mean, listen, if I spent my life doing the splits, I'd be better at the splits. And I spent my life doing music up until I did drag. So there is some like natural inclination there. Also, I am shoulder deep in every single piece of music that comes out. So I just think the process, to me, nothing slips by me without my like knowing about it, hearing about it. I just think I'm really hands-on. However, there's some fabulous drag musicians. Jinx's album is ridiculous. I think some queens, honestly, their music is fabulous. It just hasn't hit the right ears of the right critics. I mean, listen to like Jinx's album or like Alaska's albums. There's a lot of really good ones. If I could like screen wipe, be good at another type of music, I would trade lives with Alaska in a second because her club music is so fun. But I mean, I have no natural inclination to that.
Another great question. Thank you. Next one's coming to us from Darla. Darla, you've got a microphone, and it is your time.
Hi, Trixie.
Hello.
My friend says hi.
Hey, girl.
And we wanted to
Is that the question?
That was awesome. Thank you, Darla. We're moving on. We've got...
What's your question?
And we wanted to know, how'd you get into the drag scene, and what made you want to like get into the industry?
Well, I never got a call back from my group interview at Forever 21. So, and I had this wig. No, I was just doing it. I was in school for musical theater, and I was doing Rocky Horror. And by the time I was 21, I went to my first club in drag. I saw Bibi Zahara Benet on the stage, and I went up to her, and I said, "I love you so much. You're so beautiful." She said, "Please leave." No. No, she actually said, "Stay in drag." She said, "You're so beautiful. It could take you anywhere." And isn't that crazy? Wow. And then I beat her on Drag Race. No, it's one of those things where first it's your hobby, then it's your part-time job, then it's your full-time job. Blink of an eye, I'm a 30-year-old cross-dresser. I don't know what happened.
When you talk about how you did music your whole life, and so you had an inclination for it, when did you start realizing that you were really funny, and people thought you were funny, and you started doing comedy?
Much later. Isn't that... I mean, I knew I was a funny person, but I think that, like, I used to LimeWire, like, remember stealing? Oh, yeah. You guys remember stealing? Remember when stealing wasn't like... You remember stealing? Yeah. Like, I remember I had dial-up. I remember downloading comedy albums overnight so that by morning I could listen to it. And I remember hearing, like, Ellen's album for, like, Here and Now and being like, oh, my God, I never thought of doing comedy. But to me, like, when drag queens are like, I always knew I'd be on TV. I'm like, you're a sociopath. I never thought things like that could happen for me. And stand-up to me seems like, how do you even start? When I read comedians like Amy Schumer or like I read a lot of female comedians' books, their whole story is like, well, I bombed for 10 years and then finally someone gave me one opportunity and, like that road is so hard. Drag is not dissimilar to that. But in drag, I remember my first time at a drag show, someone goes, oh, there was a trans girl and she was spray adhesiving fabric to her body, which happens all the time in drag, by the way. And she was like, it's not sticking. I need you to stall. She handed me the microphone, and it was like handing me a gun. I was like, I don't know what to do. And I walked out there and talked, and when I came back, she was fully clothed, and she was like, you're funny. You should do microphone stuff. Mind blown.
And here we are. You're one of the best at microphone stuff I know. Yeah.
Microphone stuff.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we got a couple more. Stephanie, you're up next. Where are you?
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Come on down.
Hello.
She said hi.
She said hi.
Well, my original question was going to be to ask about Patrick and Lavender Country, but that was fun to hear about.
He did ruin that for you.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I'm so...
That's okay. How do you keep yourself mentally and physically healthy while you're on the road for so long?
I'll let you know. I can't go out and I can't do a lot. But I'm just very dedicated. Like last 2 nights, I got out of the show, showered, and got on the bus, went to sleep, slept until I had to get in drag again. Right. But that's where my level of commitment is. I'm comfortable with that. It's not a bummer to me. Right. So, and drink a lot of water. By the way, drink more water. You pee so much. So that's where I'm at too.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes. Yeah.
Great question. We've got time for one more. This one's actually going to come from Twitter again, and this is from @Trixie's Band. It says, every parent has a favorite child. Which band member do you love the most?
Oh, my God. Well, how do you pick just one? I guess the whole milk drinker takes it, Zach. There you go.
the whole milk with the win.
Oh my
thank
God.
you, guys. I want to thank everybody for being here and hanging out with us. You've been an amazing audience as per usual. Thank you. Thanks to those who tune in and send questions in. Much appreciated. Trixie, let's remind everybody, Barbara's out now. The tour's happening right now. Keep an eye out for the book in June. Double the amount of cosmetics this year. What else? What are we missing?
My YouTube series, my Netflix series, and you can get Barbara or any of my records on Spotify, Amazon, any platform. So please listen.
Perfect. Everybody, please do me a favor. However much noise you're about to make, it's not enough. Make more. And thank the great Trixie Mattel.